Well folks, today we're out here, we're chasing some crappies. It's about 45-degree water temperature, perfect time to get after them. Anywhere from that 38-degree to 60-degree is going to be perfect, but today what we're doing is we're searching some of them north-facing shorelines, something that's going to have some reeds, maybe a staging area for these crappies, and we're going to throw some jerk baits at them, throw some flies and bobbers at them, and hopefully we can catch some crappies today. So let's show you guys how we catch them, how we find them. So first things first is location. When we're in early spring and the water temps are between 40 and 50, the crappies are going to be on the move. They're going to start pulling out of the deeper water and head up to them staging areas. And usually that's about 8 to 15 feet near the mouth of bays or anything that has reeds that's super shallow where they're going to come up and spawn. Now right up behind me you can see we got some nice lay down of some timbers and stuff. It's a little early for them fish to be pushing up in there, but that's something that you want to think about as far as where these fish are going to relate to. If they're going to push up and move into there, you know, that's 2-3 foot deep, shallow, they're going to be right out in front of this stuff. So what we're going to do is start casting around here, just running the jerk bait. Now you don't need anything super huge on the jerk bait. This is what it is. It's a little small Rapala, forget the exact size, but it's just a little X-Wrap. And the key to it is when you're jigging it or you rip it, and it paws. You want that pause. That's going to be the best part. So what we're going to do is we're going to cast this bad boy out a few times. We're going to get it down there. We're going to smack it. And it's a really good way to search for them too, because we're not going to run any electronics besides some side imaging today. And I'm not really even looking at it. I'm just kind of looking at them transition lines. If I mark a whole bunch of fish, I'll show you guys what they look like. But we're out here. We're just going to search for these crappies today with the jerk bait. And then we got the fly if they're going to be a little more finesse. So let's get to fishing. We're going to give it a shot right here. It looks pretty good. We're going to throw that jerk bait out there. And in the meantime, while the jerk bait's out, we're going to put our fly out there too. So this is just a little 16th ounce jig, a little fly. Make sure it lays nice and horizontal. Sometimes when you get a fish, they'll pull it and then your jig will go straight down and it'll be vertical like that. You want to have that thing, just pull that back toward the line towards the hook and get her nice just like that. Then that bobber's sitting there and it's jigging for you. So I'm going to cast this guy out. We're going to keep an eye on that off to the side over here. They might be hitting that today, but now we're going to get up and do some jerk paws. There we go. There's a fish. Oh, and he popped off. That was a good one too. Hit some weeds. Let's get back out there. Right. There's one. There's two. He hit it right on the paws. That was a nice fish. Get it again. Come on now. And once you key in a spot like that where you caught one, you want to get right back out there as fast as you can, because usually they're going to stick around in that general area for a few minutes, or they might not even move on you. There's a fish. There we go. This thing's kind of big though. I don't think this is a crappie. Yeah, no, that is a pike. That is a pike. We are not hooked onto a crappie right now. I just want to get my jerk bait back. You did the old I'm gonna dive in the mud kind of thing. Come here, buddy. That's a decent pike for what it is. Thick, solid little pike. All right. Well, this is not a crappie, but I guarantee you he's got one in him because I can feel it right here. You can actually see that. This guy's chowing them down. Nice little northern pike. All right, buddy. See you later. Bobber down. There we go. Got one on the fly. There we go. Decent. That's why I like the like to have that bobber and fly out there just kind of as a static line, you know. It's a whole nother line. It's sitting there, it's doing its thing. Just got to keep an eye on that bobber. and it'll catch fish. Sitting here doing some jerk bait snapping, and look over and bob her down. There's one on the jerk bait. Hit it right on the paws too. You'll notice the one thing about running jerk baits is you usually get bigger fish too. So this is a little bit bigger than the last couple we caught on the fly. Look at that. Awesome right there. Doing the crappie flop he is. Let's get him back in. See you later, buddy. Nice. Another one. Another one on the jerk bait. They're finally firing up. Oh, this is a largemouth. But we're getting a nice little bite window here where some fish are eating. It's a good one. Solid guy out for out here. Nice largemouth. Good fish. See you later, buddy. I just like to give it a little 1-2. That's all I like to do with my jerk bait. 1-2. Pop, pop. Let it sit. Pop, pop. Let it sit. There's one. Look at that. What do we have here? Another crappie. Nice. Another one on the jerk bait. Not a giant. But if I was keeping fish, that'd be a eater. See you later, bud. Tell you what, this jerk bait, this bite, it's so much fun casting and popping around for some crappies. It's a good time. You guys got to give it a shot for sure. Bobber. Yeah, bobber is the ticket today. Little guy. Little itsy bitsy one. You like that little fly, don't you, buddy? So all it is just some feathers. Little pink 16th ounce jig. Super simple setup there. There she goes again. Stay pinned. Yeah, there we go. What do we got here? Crappie. Another crappie. They are loving this fly. Just bye-bye, buddy. Throw you back out there. Boom, bobber's going. No hook set, just a slow reel up to it. Sometimes if you give it a whack and you hook set it, you'll pull it right out of their mouth. That's something you don't want to do. Look at that, another guy. That fly, and I tell you what, like I was saying earlier, you can use this fly pretty much year round. It's really early right now. Fish are still kind of deep, not too deep, but as they progress up and go further up and in there, you definitely can still use this. Just bring that bobber up a little bit and maybe even switch to a stick bobber, because if you throw this big one up in the shallow, sometimes the fish will spook out. So I like to run a little bit lighter bobber once I'm getting closer into shore and fishing shallower water. But out here, we're deep. The fish aren't too spooky. Let's see if we can't snatch another one up real quick here with this. I'm gonna give her a couple jigs. Let her sit. And if you get really good, you can run this without the bobber. Just cast it and that's even funner, almost funner than the jerk bait, because you're just kind of lifting your tip up, reel down your slack, lift up. I'm gonna do that real quick just to try, show you guys what it's like without a bobber on it, because This is one of my favorite ways to catch crappie, and I mean year round. Middle of the summer, put on a little 16th ouncer, just like this. Watch this. Cast it out, let it sink for a second or two, and then reel down and just start lifting up. Reel down and lift up. And this, I mean, they crush it. When they hit it, it just boom. And you can cover ground pretty fast too. I'm getting to these weeds here. I'm gonna drop it down on the other side of the weeds. Let it sink, and while it's kind of dropping and sinking, boonk, you'll feel that smack. And man, I tell you what, it's just awesome. So fun. Now that's without the bobber. Let's do it again just to show you that that wasn't just luck there. This is a dialed in thing. Look at that, was a bad cast, but let her sink. And then, like I said, just start lifting up. Lift, lift, lift. This is something I do. I teach people how to do it. I just had another hit. Well, if you guys ever want a guide and get out on the boat with me, I'll take you out and we can do this tactic for crappies because it is just so much fun. But having the bobber out this early springtime, you know, it helps kind of pinpoint where they're at. If you're running that jerk bait, you're searching around for them fish, and you got a bobber sitting over there, and all of a sudden it starts going, you know, the concentration of them fish is over towards that bobber. All right, let's do it one more time right here. There we go. That one didn't donk it. He kind of slept with it there, but he was holding on to it. See you later, bud. Let's see if I can feel a donk. Got a big old donk right here. Now that guy was just holding on to it. There's a donk. Got him. Look at that. Whoo-wee. Guys, I tell you what. Look at this thing. Look at where that jig's at. Back of his throat. Get out of there. Get out. Boop. Popped it out. Nice fish. See ya, buddy. Back down there. Well, I'd say about there. Let's try up a little shallower. There it is. Man, oh man. Gotta love it. So the jerkbait is just a little too early for them right now. I mean, look at that one again. Gone. Devoured. So the jerkbait works. Like I said, bigger fish, but the little 16th ounce jigs, even if you're running plastics on them, this one has a little fly tail, kind of like a feather tail. I'll kind of go over that in a second with you guys too. All right, there we go, buddy. See you later. Thanks for playing. Last cast, right next to the weed patch where they've been the whole time. Let's go. Ooh, I was on already. It was just sinking and I had one on. All right, sink, sink, sink. Get down there. There it is. Bam! Well, bam. Okay. Well, they aren't quite chasing it down like they were a few minutes ago, so I'm gonna slap that bobber back on here. They kind of slowed down here and get it, just dangle it back over them again. See if they want the jerk bait again. Oh geez. Literally the bobber just went down after I casted it. There we go. So just like that, I went to pick up the jerk bait again for a second, and sure enough, this guy just fired off on the jig. See you later, buddy. All right. Now the difference there was it was hovering in one spot. It didn't have to chase it. That was something that I was going to explain. If these fish start getting a little more finicky and they don't want to chase that as it's moving, we can just put it back out there, let it sit under the bobber. They got all the time in the world to look at it, all the time to see it, play with it, sniff it, smell it, and then eat it. That's what's cool. There we go. I actually railed into that one to try to see if I would miss it, but he's stuck. That's a good one. That is a good one too. You bet. See you later, buddy. Okay. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something about my two special ways of catching crappie with the jerkbait and the fly. You've seen it firsthand. The bobber just kind of sat out there, and as soon as we found them crappies, poop, the bobber started going down. Hit them with the jerkbait. Little slow action with the jerkbait today, but I promise you it's going to heat up as that water temperature gets hotter. It's about 47 right now is the hottest that I found today, and the fish were in about 6 foot of water. So hope you guys enjoyed. Also, these are Cade rods. This is a new rod I've been using, the Cade Outdoors custom rod. This is a 6'9" medium light fast, so super nice action on it. You could feel them fish hit with the jerkbait, and even when we had that little 16th ounce jig, we were feeling them boom, them fish just smack it. Also got it paired up with the PC Fun. This is a Carbon XT. This is a brand new reel. Really like that drag. We've had it down on the Mississippi River. I did have it up in Canada there. Super nice reel. If you're looking for reels, check out pcfun.com. Use my discount code WF15. It does help out the channel if you guys are looking to get some new reels, and these are super smooth too with that drag. But like always, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you can get out there, catch some crappies, and like always, we'll see you next time.